My friends, there comes a time in everyone's life when the light seems to fade, when hope feels like a distant memory, and every step feels heavy. We all have moments of darkness, a heartbreak, a loss, a failure, or the silence after a prayer that feels unanswered. But let me tell you something. The absence of light doesn't mean the end of life. It simply means it's your turn to shine. You see, darkness is not your enemy, it is your opportunity. It's in the darkest nights that stars are seen. When life dims around you, it's not asking you to surrender, it's inviting you to glow, to become the candle in the storm, the calm voice in chaos, the reason someone else doesn't give up today. So many of us wait for someone to light our path, but maybe the world is waiting for you. The smallest flame can break the thickest night. A smile to a stranger, a kind word to someone in pain, a moment of forgiveness. These are the ways you light up the world. You don't need perfection to shine, you just need intention. When challenges come, don't curse the darkness. Light your lamp, fill it with faith, kindness, gratitude, and courage. You can't always control the storms, but you can always control your light. And when others see your light burning bright through the rain, they'll find courage to light theirs too. Remember, a single candle doesn't lose its glow by lighting another. In fact, the more you share your light, the brighter the world becomes. So, when life feels dark, don't wait for someone else's torch. Be the torch, be the warmth, be the light. Darkness is an invitation, not a punishment. Every time life dims your light, it isn't trying to break you. It's trying to shape you. We often see dark times as unfair, painful, or undeserved. But if you look closer, those very moments carry messages meant only for you. When the sun sets, it doesn't mean the light is gone forever. It means a new kind of beauty is about to unfold. Similarly, when your life feels surrounded by shadows, it's an opportunity for you to find your inner glow. We live in a world that celebrates brightness, success, laughter, happiness, and progress, but no one truly grows there. Growth happens in silence, in waiting, in pain, and in confusion. Just as a seed grows in the darkness of the soil before it sees the light. Your spirit strengthens in unseen struggles. When you lose something or someone, when your plans collapse, when the road disappears beneath your feet, it's easy to cry out, "Why me?" But perhaps the better question is, what is this teaching me? Because every dark moment hides a divine lesson that can only be revealed through endurance. Think of a caterpillar trapped inside its cocoon. To an outsider, it looks lifeless, motionless, and maybe even hopeless. But within that darkness, transformation is happening. The struggle to break free is what gives the butterfly wings strong enough to fly. In the same way, your darkness isn't your defeat, it's your preparation. When everything around you feels uncertain, that's when your faith begins to grow. Faith is never tested in the sunshine. It's proven in the storm. Sometimes darkness invites you to pause. It asks you to stop running after things that were never meant for you. It teaches you to listen to your heart, to your soul, and to a higher power that whispers in silence. When the lights go out in your plans, it's because there's a greater plan waiting to unfold. You may not see it yet, but just because you can't see the path doesn't mean it's not there. Stars are always present in the sky. They only appear when the sun sets. Likewise, your strength, courage, and resilience are always within you. They reveal themselves only when life grows dark. And in those moments, don't rush to escape the darkness. Sit in it. Learn from it. Let it teach you where your true source of light comes from. Because real peace doesn't come when life is perfect. It comes when you find calm, even in the chaos. Real faith isn't about having everything figured out. It's about trusting even when you don't understand. The darkness will pass, but what it leaves behind is wisdom, depth, and an unshakable spirit. So, when you find yourself surrounded by shadows, remember, it's not punishment. It's a sacred invitation to grow, to trust, and to become the light you've been searching for. Every night eventually ends with dawn. Your darkness is simply preparing you to appreciate the sunrise that's on its way. Even the smallest light matters. In a world filled with noise, chaos, and confusion, it's easy to believe that our efforts are too small to make a difference. We often think, what can one person do? Or how will my little act of kindness change anything? But the truth is, even a single candle has the power to chase away the deepest darkness. The size of your light doesn't matter. What matters is that you choose to shine even when the world feels dim. Think about how a tiny flame can light up an entire room. It doesn't ask the darkness to leave. It simply burns, doing what it was meant to do. In the same way, when you smile at a stranger, comfort someone in pain, or simply listen without judgment, you bring warmth into another person's life. Your words, your gestures, your energy, they can become someone's reason to believe again. You may never realize how deeply one simple act can touch a soul. Many people wait to do great things before they act. They wait until they're rich enough to help, confident enough to lead, or strong enough to inspire. But greatness isn't in the size of what you do, it's in the sincerity of why you do it. The world doesn't need more perfection, it needs more people who care. One kind word can restore someone's faith. One small prayer can open doors you can't even see. One moment of patience can stop a fight, heal a wound, or change a destiny. You might think your effort goes unnoticed, but every light contributes to the dawn. Imagine standing in complete darkness, then seeing one spark flicker in the distance. That one spark gives hope. It reminds you that light still exists. That's what your actions can do for others. Even when you're struggling, your courage to smile, your strength to stay kind, and your decision to keep believing becomes a signal of hope for someone else fighting their own battles. In our lives, there will always be times when we can't fix everything, We can't erase another's pain, heal every heart, or solve every problem. But we can always do something small, something real. Maybe it's helping a friend who's silent about their struggles, forgiving someone who hurt you, or simply saying, "I'm here," when someone feels alone. Those things may seem tiny, but to a soul in darkness, they can feel like sunlight after endless rain. The beauty of light is that it never competes. The sun doesn't fight the stars, and the candle doesn't envy the moon. Each shines in its own time, in its own way. Your light is unique. You don't need to compare it or measure it. You just need to keep it burning. Because when many small lights come together, they create a glow powerful enough to illuminate the entire world. So never underestimate the power of your smallest act. You may not be able to change the entire world, but you can change someone's world today, and that in itself is enough to make the darkness a little less dark. Don't wait for the world to brighten. Brighten your world first. So often, we find ourselves waiting for circumstances to improve, waiting for people to change, waiting for life to finally become easier. We think that when things around us shift, then we'll feel happier, more peaceful, or more fulfilled. But the truth is, the power to change your world doesn't lie outside you, it begins within. In the light you're searching for isn't out there somewhere, it's already inside your heart, waiting for you to uncover it. When we depend on external situations to bring us happiness, we hand over our control to things we cannot command. The weather changes, people change, opportunities come and go, and life keeps moving. If your peace depends on these shifting elements, your peace will never last. But if your light comes from within, if it's built on faith, gratitude, and purpose, then no storm can extinguish it. Real transformation begins when you stop blaming the darkness around you and start lighting the candle within you. We all go through moments when life feels unfair. Maybe people disappoint you, maybe dreams fall apart, or maybe you find yourself surrounded by negativity. But waiting for others to behave better, for circumstances to improve, or for luck to appear only keeps you trapped in frustration. Instead, ask yourself, what can I do now? How can I create light where I am? When you start doing small things to lift your own spirit, like praying, reflecting, helping others, or simply appreciating what you have, you begin to change the atmosphere around you. Light spreads naturally. When your inner world glows with peace, kindness, and strength, your energy touches others. You don't have to preach or prove anything. Your presence itself becomes a message of hope. Think about how a calm person can ease tension in a heated room, or how a smile can uplift someone's day. That's what happens when you stop waiting for the world to brighten. You become the brightness that others notice. Some people live their whole lives saying, "I'll be happy when I get the job, when I find love, when I have enough money, when everything is perfect." But happiness doesn't come from someday. It's created today. Every day you wake up, you have two choices: complain about what's missing or celebrate what's present. The moment you choose gratitude over resentment, kindness over bitterness, and faith over fear, your entire world begins to glow. And the beautiful thing is, when you brighten your own world, you unconsciously give permission for others to do the same. Your light becomes a spark for someone else's courage. People notice how you handle challenges, how you stay grounded, how you keep believing, and they find hope in your example. The world may not change overnight, but your light can create ripples of goodness that travel farther than you'll ever know. So don't wait for life to hand you perfect conditions. Don't wait for someone else to lead the way. The dawn doesn't ask the night to move aside. It rises on its own. In the same way, rise with what you have. Choose to smile when it's hardest, love when it's easiest to hate, and hope when it's tempting to give up. That's how you brighten your world first. And when you do, you'll see that the world around you slowly begins to shine too. Be the calm in chaos. When life becomes noisy and uncertain, when everything seems to fall apart, the most powerful thing you can do is stay centered. The world may spin in confusion, people may panic, and situations may seem beyond control, but your peace can become the anchor that keeps you steady. Calmness is not weakness, it's strength under control. It's the quiet confidence that whispers, no matter what happens, I will not lose myself. Chaos has a way of testing who we truly are. When everything goes wrong, it reveals what lies inside us. Anyone can stay peaceful when life is smooth. But true calm is born in the storm. It's in those moments when nothing makes sense, when emotions rise and confusion takes over, that you discover your real power, the ability to respond, not react. Life's challenges are not here to destroy your peace. They are opportunities to deepen it. Every test you face gives you a chance to strengthen your inner balance. Think of a lake. When its surface is still, it reflects the beauty of the sky. But when disturbed, everything becomes distorted. The same is true for us. When our minds are restless, we lose clarity, we make rash decisions, and we allow fear to lead. But when our hearts are calm, even if chaos surrounds us, we can see clearly, act wisely, and remain peaceful. Calmness allows us to see the situation for what it is, not what our emotions make it seem. There will always be people who bring drama, words that hurt, or moments that shake your confidence. But remember, peace is your responsibility, not someone else's gift to you. No one can give it to you. And no one can take it away unless you allow them to. Being calm doesn't mean you don't care. It means you choose to rise above what doesn't deserve your energy. Sometimes, silence is more powerful than reaction. Sometimes, walking away is louder than arguing. When chaos arrives, pause, breathe. Remind yourself that storms don't last forever. Even the wildest thunderstorm eventually gives way to clear skies. You don't have to fix everything immediately. Sometimes your calm presence is enough to bring stability to others. People who stay calm in chaos become the light others follow. They become a source of strength, wisdom, and comfort in difficult times. To be calm is to trust. It's to believe that no matter how hard life gets, there is still order beneath the disorder. It's knowing that every storm carries purpose and every delay carries direction. When you trust the process, your mind relaxes and your heart finds peace even before the answers arrive. Calmness is not about having control over everything, it's about having control over yourself. So, when the world seems to spin faster than you can handle, slow down, take a deep breath, speak gently, think clearly, and move intentionally. Be the calm in chaos, not because life is easy, but because peace is your power. When you learn to stay centered while everything else shifts, you become unshakable, and in that stillness, you not only survive the storm, you help others find their way through it. Pain polishes your soul. It refines you in ways comfort never could. When everything is easy, you move without awareness, you take things for granted, and you rarely pause to reflect. But when pain enters your life, whether through loss, disappointment, betrayal, or failure, it forces you to stop, to look within, and to grow. Pain is the silent teacher that doesn't speak in words, but teaches through experience. It strips away what's unnecessary and reveals the strength, depth, and beauty that were hidden beneath your surface all along. We often run from pain, trying to escape it as if it's the enemy. But what if it isn't there to harm you, but to shape you? Just as fire refines gold, pain refines your heart. When gold passes through fire, it doesn't get destroyed. It gets purified. The impurities rise to the surface so they can be removed. And what remains is stronger, brighter, and more valuable. The same happens to your soul when you go through trials. The fire of pain burns away pride, fear, ego, and attachment, leaving behind a clearer, humbler, and wiser version of you. Think about how deeply pain connects us to others. When you've walked through heartbreak, you learn to comfort those who cry. When you've been betrayed, you understand the value of loyalty. When you've been lost, you learn how to guide. Pain softens the heart. It makes you more compassionate, more patient, and more human. Without pain, we would never truly appreciate joy. Without darkness, we would never recognize the light. Sometimes the things that hurt the most are the very things that prepare you for what's next. A rejection may redirect you to a greater opportunity. A failure may teach you lessons that success never could. A broken heart might open your soul to deeper love and empathy. Every wound carries wisdom if you're willing to listen. The challenge is not to let pain harden you, but to let it heal you. It's easy to become bitter, but real strength is choosing to become better. When you look back on your hardest moments, you'll realize they were not your end. They were your turning points. Pain breaks your illusions and brings you closer to truth. It shows you what truly matters and who truly stands by you. It teaches you that happiness doesn't come from perfection, but from peace. The strongest people are not those who've never been hurt. They're the ones who turned their pain into power. They allowed their scars to remind them not of what they lost, but of how far they've come. And perhaps the most beautiful thing about pain is that it humbles us. It reminds us that we are not in full control, that life is unpredictable, and that we must trust something greater than ourselves. In the midst of pain, you learn surrender. You realize that sometimes the only way to move forward is to let go and trust the process. You begin to see that even in suffering, there is purpose. Something sacred is happening within you. So, when pain visits your life, don't despise it. Feel it, learn from it, and let it do its work. Every tear you shed, every silent night you endure, every heart touch you survive, it's all polishing your soul, preparing you to shine with more depth, more empathy, and more grace than ever before. Your light grows when you share it. The beauty of light is that it doesn't diminish when given, it multiplies. When you share your wisdom, your kindness, or your compassion, you don't lose anything, you expand your inner glow. The more you give, the richer your soul becomes. Light was never meant to be hidden. Just like the sun doesn't shine for itself, your light exists to warm and brighten the lives of others. Too often, we hold back our goodness because we fear being unappreciated or misunderstood. We think, what's the point of giving if no one notices? But real light doesn't need applause. It shines simply because that's its nature. A candle doesn't wait for approval. It burns because that's what it was created to do. In the same way, you were created to illuminate dark spaces with your presence, your words, and your love. Whether or not anyone acknowledges it, your light still matters. Every time you choose kindness over anger, patience over frustration, or understanding over judgment, your light grows stronger. Each act of giving, no matter how small, adds to the flame within you. When you lift someone up, you lift yourself too. When you give without expecting anything in return, something inside you expands. That's the law of light. It returns to the source even brighter. Look around at the people who've impacted your life the most. Chances are, they weren't the loudest or the most powerful. They were the ones who showed you kindness when you least expected it. Maybe they listened without judgment, encouraged you when you doubted yourself, or simply believed in you when you couldn't. Their light touched you, and now, in some way, it continues to live through you. That's how light travels. It passes from one heart to another, creating a chain of goodness that can never be broken. When you share your light, you also inspire others to find theirs. One gentle word can ignite courage in someone ready to give up. One act of generosity can inspire a ripple of kindness that reaches far beyond what you'll ever see. Even your silent prayers, your quiet patience, and your forgiveness are forms of light that heal and uplift. You never know who's watching your example or drawing hope from your strength. The world is full of people searching for even the faintest spark to remind them that goodness still exists. And remember, sharing your light doesn't mean you have to be perfect. In fact, some of the brightest lights come from people who've been through the deepest darkness. It's your pain, your healing, your resilience that makes your glow so authentic. When you share your story, your lessons, or simply your presence you show others that it's possible to survive and shine again. The most radiant souls are those who've learned that giving doesn't empty them, it completes them. When you make others feel seen, valued, and loved, your heart fills with a peace that nothing else can offer. The more you pour out love, the more it flows back to you in unexpected ways. So, never hold back your light. Whether through a kind word, a simple prayer, or an act of service, keep sharing what you have. Because every time you share your light, you make the world a little brighter and your soul a little stronger. Faith is the oil in your lamp. Without faith, your light flickers in the winds of life, but with faith, it burns steadily even through the fiercest storms. Faith is what keeps your soul alive when everything else seems uncertain. It's that quiet assurance within you that whispers, "Even if I can't see the way, I'll keep walking." When life becomes dark and confusing, it's not more answers you need, it's deeper trust. Faith doesn't remove your struggles, it gives you the strength to walk through them with peace. Life will often lead you through paths that make no sense at all. You'll face moments when your efforts don't bear fruit, when prayers seem unanswered, and when hope feels far away. It's in those moments that faith becomes essential. Faith reminds you that just because you can't see the sun doesn't mean it has disappeared. It's simply hidden behind the clouds, waiting to shine again. Sometimes God hides the light not to punish you, but to help you learn to trust Him even in the dark. When you fill your lamp with faith, it becomes a constant source of light. Not just for you, but for those around you. Faith gives you calmness when the world panics, direction when the road ahead is unclear, and courage when fear tries to take over. It allows you to move forward even when everything inside you says stop. You begin to realize that faith is not about having control. It's about surrendering control with confidence. Every challenge that tests your patience is an opportunity to strengthen your faith. It's easy to trust when life is going smoothly, but faith shines brightest in uncertainty. When you continue to believe in goodness, despite seeing pain, when you keep walking despite not knowing where the road leads, that's when your faith becomes real. The strongest faith is not the one that always gets what it wants, but the one that continues to trust even when it doesn't. Faith also transforms how you see your struggles. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "What is this teaching me?" You start seeing setbacks as setups for something greater. Faith teaches you patience, humility, and resilience. It tells you that timing matters, that sometimes what feels like a delay is actually divine protection. When faith fills your heart, you stop fearing what could go wrong and start believing in what could go right. Faith doesn't guarantee a life without pain. It promises peace in the midst of it. It's the quiet strength that allows you to smile when tears fall, to stand when you feel weak, and to keep hoping when others have given up. When your faith is strong, no circumstance can break you because you're anchored in something deeper than the situation. You're anchored in belief. So keep your lamp filled. Keep trusting even when you don't understand. The oil of faith will keep your light glowing when everyone else's begins to fade. It will carry you through nights of doubt and storms of fear. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize that it wasn't your strength that brought you through. It was your faith, quietly burning within you, guiding you every step of the way. Forgiveness releases brightness. When you hold on to anger, resentment, or bitterness, it's like carrying a heavy shadow within you. No matter how much light surrounds you, that inner darkness clouds your peace and dims your glow. Forgiveness isn't about saying what someone was right. It's about choosing not to let their actions control your heart anymore. It's the act of freeing yourself from the prison of pain. When you forgive, you aren't doing it for them. You're doing it for your own soul, so it can breathe, heal, and shine again. We all get hurt. Sometimes by strangers, sometimes by people we trusted most. Words cut deep, actions betray, and expectations crumble. It's natural to feel wounded and angry. But the longer you hold on to that pain, the more it poisons your peace. Resentment is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to suffer. It doesn't harm them. It eats away at your own joy. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is the medicine that purifies your heart. It doesn't erase the past, but it changes how the past lives within you. When you forgive, you reclaim your light. You stop giving power to the person or situation that hurt you. You no longer let bitterness dictate your mood or define your identity. You begin to understand that forgiveness isn't weakness. It's one of the highest forms of strength. Anyone can hold a grudge. It takes real courage to let go. To forgive doesn't mean you have forgotten what happened. It means you've decided that it will no longer rule your emotions or limit your growth. Think of your heart as a lamp. When it's filled with anger, its glass becomes clouded and the light struggles to shine through. But when you clean it with forgiveness, your light becomes pure, radiant, and strong. You begin to see the world with more compassion. You stop judging others by their mistakes because you understand that everyone is fighting unseen battles. In forgiving others, you also learn to forgive yourself, to release the guilt, the regret, and the mistakes that keep you chained to the past. Forgiveness also invites healing. Sometimes, the person you need to forgive will never apologize. They may never admit what they did or even understand the pain they caused. But forgiveness isn't waiting for their apology. It's giving yourself permission to move forward even without it. You don't need their sorry to find your peace. The moment you choose forgiveness, you take your power back. You start walking lighter, speaking softer, and feeling freer. When you live with an unforgiving heart, your light flickers. It's constantly burdened by the weight of old wounds. But when you forgive, it's as though a window opens inside you, letting sunlight pour in. The same heart that once held pain now becomes a source of warmth for others. You become more understanding, more patient, and more loving, not because life got easier, but because you chose to rise above what tried to darken you. And sometimes, forgiveness happens slowly. You may need to forgive the same person or even yourself 100 times before the weight fully lifts. That's okay. Each step of forgiveness adds a little more brightness to your heart. Every time you choose peace over bitterness, your soul becomes lighter. In the end, forgiveness isn't just about freeing someone else. It's about freeing yourself to shine again, without the shadows of yesterday dimming the beauty of today.